And welcome back to Open Your Eyes, and we're moving now into a final discussion for the morning. And it's actually the Belize Credit Union League and their International Credit Union Day. Does this mean that they'll be giving loans and whatever you like? Stay tuned for the conversation. Actually, we've got on set with us Elvis Canul, who is the head office manager at St. Francis Xavier Credit Union. That's in Corozal, right?
Yes.
All right, so there we go. We also have with us Emory Young, who is a senior operations officer as well at St. Martin's Credit Union.
Yeah.
All right, who's that? All right, that's the guy all the way in the corner. And Linburgh Smith, of course, business development officer, Belize Credit Union League. Yep. Guys, good morning, and it's so nice to have you in.
Good morning.
So Credit Union Day, International Credit Union Day, that simply says that things are getting easier, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Sure. Things that happen.
So, Linburgh, let's start with you, the Belize Credit Union League. Talk to us about the work that is being done as we speak.
Well, it's not only the league, it's the league and its affiliates, but the movement is growing.
Okay.
And it's a global thing. It's not just us in Belize, it's credit union across the globe that is celebrating. But it's very interesting how credit union started. And credit union started, a long time ago.
Okay.
And it started off a simple idea where people thought, guess what? If we could pool our own resources together to lend each other, guess what? That's a good thing. That's a good thing. And why? And it's from that simple cooperative spirit or philosophy that the credit union movement actually began. And that was in perhaps the early 19th century Europe.
Wow.
So it was way back then. But the first credit union actually started after Germany went through some hardships, devastation from famine and crop failure. And that was in 1846, 1847. And during that time, the first credit union was born.
So basically, they are syndicate together.
Right. So and it becomes more formalized.
Yeah.
And people start to see, wow, this thing is flourishing, this thing becoming vibrant.
Yeah.
And guess what? It started to spread west, North America, and all of that. And then eventually, people realize, wow, this thing will become very popular. It's people helping people, and that's how the philosophy of people helping people came along. And so because that's how it started. If we could maybe. There are always challenges or barriers to get into the corporate financial institutions.
Of course,
and so credit unions started in that kind of way to say, how can we help the common man?
Yeah.
And that's how it started. And eventually, as the movement began to grow, and it becomes a very popular thing, credit union members across the world say, you know what? Why not put aside a day where we can celebrate our challenges, our successes, the impact we have made over the years. And that's why today we're celebrating the 71st anniversary of International Credit.
71st?
Yep.
Of the credit union movement.
Of the credit union movement globally.
Wow.
Globally.
Now, it's always important, I think, because for people, the credit union becomes just another financial institution, but it was meant to be different from the onset. So let's talk about what the difference was and how it's still maintained in today's financial environment.
Okay, want me to take that?
Whoever.
Well,
I would like to chip in.
All right.
The credit union is a movement of people helping people.
That's right.
Back in the days, the financial system was locked to a certain culture or people. Or class, I would say. So the hardworking people, the low-class people, I would say, they had to pull their resources and make their own savings so that they could borrow. That has held up to today. The movement began with interest rates of 1% on the reducing balance. That has held up from the inception until today.
Yeah.
So
1%.
1% is across the board in Belize, I can say, and that's working. So from the onset, we have been providing our members with the lowest interest rate in the market.
There's certain principles I think that people have come to expect from a credit union. One is low interest. Secondly is the fact that it's owned by members. You're a member and not a client. Also, looking at the fact that there is a heavy emphasis on savings. Yes. Is this across the board, and is that easy to do, especially in these financial times in our country?
Well, it's something pretty easy to do once you get yourself in the rhythm of doing things.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Most people in Belize, we're accustomed to just getting $100 in your hand and spending it.
Yeah.
But if you get yourself accustomed to it, you'll definitely get used to saving and it won't affect your budget. For example, when you get paid, you have income tax coming out of your pay. If you might have a dog or so, you have to buy dog food. You have your utilities. You can't go a day without pay BEL because your light will get cut out. So these are certain expenses that you ensure that is covered every month because you know you need to have it.
These are must expenses.
It's must expenses. Yes. And it's the same way we need to look towards savings. So when you go into a bank and they tell you, oh, $275 is to pay your loan. When you come at St. Martin's Credit Union, we'll tell you $275 is to pay a loan, but $25 from that $275 will be going towards your shares.
Your shares,
right? Yeah. And the same way you'll have these bills coming up. Worst case, your child is at school and have a little accident and need to go to the hospital. You could go in and access the same savings that you have in your account, no?
Yeah.
So it's very easy to manage once you get into the habit of contributing towards the shares. And you don't have to start with $100 every month. You can start with something very basic. For example, you start with $5 this week. At the end of the month, you might notice, okay, I have $5 more left over. Next month, you put $10 towards it. And the more you increase it, the more it will benefit you at the end of the day. So most people, by the time you end up paying your loan at a credit union, your loan is paid and your savings have increased. Yeah. So those are some of the factors that members really appreciate about the credit union.
And I just want to add the simple fact of a piggy bank. I use that concept at home. Every payday, I take some coins and I drop it in that piggy bank. And credit unions across the country always giving away piggy banks at their events or fairs. Drop your 5 cents, 1 cent, 10 cents, shilling, whatever you're dropping in that piggy bank. Yeah. One day, the bank becomes full. That's your
move it on.
Move it on. You fill it again. You
so
move
the teller now roll the eye when you go.
But the concept of saving.
But I know it's putting something aside.
Right.
Yeah. So let's talk about the movement of credit unions in Belize. Are we growing? Are we seeing more members? I know some of you have branched off into different districts as well. Tell me what's happening.
Well, the movement is growing indeed.
Yeah.
Today we can say the movement is 9 credit unions strong, and all are under the umbrella of the Credit Union League.
Yeah.
We have 2 closed credit unions, which is Spanish Lookout Credit Union and Blue Creek Credit Union, and all other credit unions are open to the general public.
Okay.
So, and we have a few credit unions that have branches, like for example, St. Francis, they have 4 branches. Corozal.
Where are you?
Corozal, we're in Sarteneja, San Pedro, and Kikokro.
Okay.
Yeah.
St. John's, again, another credit union with 4 branches. North side, right here on the Northern Highway, their main branch in Bashra, Belmopan, and Dangriga. And
St. Martin's, we opened, last year we opened our Benque Viejo office. So that has been operating a little over a year and doing very good in the community.
Yeah.
So, and we have HRCU, a branch now in Independence.
Okay.
So the movement is growing. There might be minimal growth in some areas, but still, like, we're all in one market competing for the same members. So what we need to do as credit union is to continue the education, continue to that credit union difference, because it means something. It means something, and Marlene touched something earlier, which I want to come back to earlier. It's not just the low interest. It's not just your member owned, but it's the fact that credit unions are the only financial institution in Belize that gives you back rebate and gives you back dividends on your savings. The only financial institution. So the amount you save over the years determine how much you get back. And that's so, and that's again that lives that kind of embedded in the philosophy of people helping people. Because the idea of it's wealth creation, it's me helping you it's credit unions helping to put you in a better financial position. And that's how the wealth creation idea was born too. Because we have to realize that you just don't do banking because you want to do banking. You want to increase your status, you want to increase your financial position.
Of course.
And that's how credit union look at their members. How can I put you in a better position?
Yeah, and one of the things that's coming on stream is actually a credit balance. So, and I think this is definitely a good way to educate the public on, what, you need to make sure that you've got a good credit balance in the event you need to get something that's going on.
Well, I was going to go along those lines. I think, every time you explain the benefits of being a member of a credit union, it seems so logical as a great option.
Yeah.
But I suppose where you face the most competition is that the commercial banks perhaps make it a bit easier for some people to access loans. And that's because you're very stringent about what people can afford. Can you talk about how you balance this out and where there's a benefit in being able to access finance through a credit union versus other institutions?
Mm-hmm.
Well, recently we've been giving the banks a run for their money.
Okay.
And it's evident because our numbers keep going up. I've attended most of the AGMs for credit unions this year. And when you look at all the loan portfolio, all of them increased from last year by the millions, right?
Wow.
And that's for all credit unions. So we are giving the banks a run for their money. For St. Martin's, for example, we've recently rolled out our home mortgage program, right? And
home mortgage
program.
Okay.
This is being introduced to the membership at a rate of 7.99%, where you can have flexible payments stretch over a period of 25 years.
Cool.
Now, you would pay a huge amount of money when it comes to legal fees, for example, at a bank. But here at the credit union, we have the legal fees significantly reduced for you, right? So these are cost saving areas that the members they focus on and they bring over the business. So it's not all that the banks are in control. The credit unions are rolling out programs that are making us stronger in the market. For example, St. John's rolled out their home project as well. So I guess other credit unions will be focusing on this road, making it more affordable for members to acquire homes. And let's say a teacher, for example, with the savings factor involved, most people, if you notice how they operate at a bank, some people collect their gratuity, and when they collect their gratuity, that is not vacation money to Jamaica, That is money that they'll use to pay off a mortgage or pay off their debt. But members are seeing, man, if I come into St. Martin's and I get a reasonable rate of 7.99%, and when I get my gratuity, I don't really have to touch it because I'll have savings based on my contribution. We're giving the banks a run for their money. Trust me.
You also have specialized products too.
Yes,
so like
definitely.
with St. Francis being in the north, the agricultural sector relies a lot on the credit unions up there.
Very much. I would like to comment on the agriculture and the way the customers or members sees the credit union movement. Before, we weren't competition for the banks. But today, the bank sees us as competitors. Why? Because a lot of our members understands better the financial system. Interest rate is a factor for the agriculture. At our credit union, we have special programs, especially for the cane farming industry, whereby we, through the league, and money is coming for the caneros, and they come at a better interest rate. So those are some of the resilience that we have through the league, because the monies come through the league and diverted to specific agriculture sectors.
Yeah, and to add to that, currently, well, what we have right now, we have a project through IDB and Global Affairs Canada, IDB Lab and Global Affairs Canada, which is entitled the Eco Micro. product, and that's across the Caribbean.
Okay.
But specifically for Belize, this project that we're currently involved in is a program to build the climate resilience of farmers and fisher folks across Belize. So it's looking at how we can strengthen what they're currently doing to ensure that, guess what, the climatic conditions don't impact as you have seen recently. And so that is an entire project by itself that is now where in early as next year, you will be hearing credit unions going green. At this point, we have 2 credit unions joining that program, which is St. Francis and TTCU, Toledo Teachers Credit Union in Punta Gorda. And so they will be going green.
What does that mean?
And this will be the first time credit union will be offering green microfinance in Belize, where farmers and fisher folks will be having access to low income green finance to boost what they're currently doing and to ensure that their livelihoods is sustainable for years to come. And so that's something big for us right now. And another thing the movement is also doing to even make it more attractive to members generally is we're about to go live with the national payment system as early as next year.
Okay.
So as John is supposed, if everything keeps according to plan, it should be January go live. And that is where now members will be able to do inter-credit union transfer and from a credit union to a bank.
I was going to ask that. That was my exact question, because we know that the credit unions, and I'm not sure I understand why it's been a delay, but they haven't been able to use the APSS system through central bank, which is what allows us to pretty much sit here and send money to all the different banks.
Exactly.
And people who use different institutions have found it very convenient. So now, January, you're going to be on board.
Yes. And the reason for the delay was because there has to have been infrastructural development and investment to ensure that there's a smooth transition when you do business.
That's great.
And so we want to make it as convenient for our members as possible and to ensure that our credit union or affiliates have that kind of smooth business flow. And so that's what the league has been doing to ensure that things like that comes alive.
Yeah.
With all of this progress, how do you celebrate International Credit Union Day?
It's a lot of celebration, a lot of celebration.
First of all, you have to get something free, like a party bag, right?
Yeah.
Well, at St. Martin's Credit Union, we have our usual membership appreciation, right? Okay. And that will be on Thursday, International Credit Union Day tomorrow. So all members can come into the credit union, get yourself a nice treat. Okay. We'll also be having some games and activities, but I don't want to get into the games because I want members to go in and see these games, right? Because you'll also be winning some prizes as we do whenever we have our membership appreciation. What we decided to do this year specifically to celebrate with the community is we partnered with the Belize Police Department San Ignacio branch.
Wow.
And we'll be making a donation of a motorcycle to the police department. There was a young man who was recently killed in Sokots. We had some spike of crime in Santa Elena. So we're figuring one more motorcycle and one more policeman. That will mean one more school being patrolled.
Of course.
One more neighborhood being safer, right? In discussing with Mr. Jamot, the officer commanding San Ignacio branch, he showed me a interrogation room, state-of-the-art that he was working on, where people will have the privacy when they take statements. They'll have video and audio recording, similar to what you see on CSI and those TV channels. So we were very impressed, and when I went back and discussed with my manager what all they were doing, we decided that we'll also make a donation, 2 chairs to that room as well.
Okay.
Right? So these are some of the things that we're doing to celebrate the credit union movement.
All right. And for St. Francis Xavier?
St. Francis Xavier Credit Union, exciting things happening.
All right.
We launched our mortgage, residential mortgage this month.
Wow.
7.5% for new residential mortgages. And we have a hike in that grab.
Yeah.
We have members coming and customers coming. We also have financing vehicles, the Wingles. Once you're a member with us and you have your proceeds of your payroll going with us, you could readily drive out with your vehicle.
100% financing?
Yes.
What?
Also, we have social programs given back to our community.
Of course.
Yeah. So this week we went out to the elderly, taking hampers to them.
All right.
Yeah, so it's all about a social program for our members. We also have Nova Optica, a partnership we had with some doctors coming from Mexico to do free eye checkup and also affordable glasses at $125. So those are programs that we partner with other institutions to provide to our members. Right. So exciting things happening at St. Francis Xavier.
And that's only 2 of the 9.
Everybody else
so we have Rungal Credit Unions on Thursday.
Something is happening.
Get all the party bags.
Right.
Local service global reach.
Right.
So just to finalize the week, tomorrow we're having our quiz competition. We have 22 schools participating, and we involve the young people with us because they are the future. They are the future of tomorrow. They are the leaders of St. Francis tomorrow. Definitely. So we educate them with the quiz competition organized through the league, but that's to let them understand why savings is important. And today's society just want loan. I don't have any savings. I just want to draw down a loan. But savings is very important. It's culture, and that is implanted when they're small. So we deal a lot with the young, and the quiz competition brings 22 schools tomorrow at our Civic Center in Corozal, and we will have representation for the national quiz competition. And also Friday is our members street day. So Friday, miembros de St. Francis pueden llegar a la oficina.
And the league, well, the regional is going on, as you have heard, and that is something very dear to the heart of our affiliates and the league itself, promoting financial literacy. And as a few recently aware, the central bank launched their financial inclusion strategy, which key stakeholders like us play a part in that. And so this is just our little part that we're playing in promoting financial literacy to primary school students. Because it's something very important, very important. You have to learn the concept of saving. It's not just spending. Secondly, we also have our, and so all the winners from the regionals you're hearing about that is going on, comes at
the national quiz.
At a national, and that's supposed to be in November 22nd, if I'm not mistaken. And so we also have our convention this Saturday, where we celebrate under the theme Local Service Global Reach. And so that's a theme that is being celebrated globally. And what that simply means is basically we have credit unions in their own individual community doing a whole lot. And every credit union around the world doing something to create this global movement. And celebrating the successes, the impact, how much we have impacted lives over the years. No?
Almost 71 years.
So you can go to your local credit union, and surely there'll be something,
definitely,
some kind of special treat, discount, or new service being launched over the course of this week.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, thank you for coming in and telling us a bit about what you're doing, and best of luck.
All right.
Thank you so much.
We're going to go ahead and take our final break, and when we come back, we'll have our wrap-up, so stay tuned.